Hello, everybody. We have another edition of DB's Best Bets presented by Full Time Roundup, episode 7. Episode 7. And ladies and gentlemen, we are hot. And not only are we hot, but we are both over 500 now. And that is how you do it. Harrison, my usual reoccurring guest and gambling partner. How are we doing today?
Feeling great. First week where I feel like everything clicked for us. We saw the board clearly. You had an unbelievable week. I had a pretty solid week. We're back over 500. The vibes couldn't be higher, honestly.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I don't usually give out 6 plays either, and to go 5-1 when I broke my rules, I'm gonna do it again. Not this time, but another time. And yeah, I mean, we do this show not only to give our picks, but to give our leans as well. And I feel like both of our leans absolutely printed. So if you're a listener of the
Mhm.
show and you like our analysis, definitely look into what we kind of like as a lean as well, even though we might not play all of them. But let's go ahead and get right into it. First, I just have a little bit of housekeeping. So if you're watching this on this Monday night, it'll be out no later than Tuesday. Go peep our episode by Full Time Roundup. Came out Sunday night. We kind of covered the domestic league and some of the games we're actually about to cover today, as well as previewing the Champions League. So go check that out on all platforms. If you're listening podcast version, like 5-star or rate 5 stars and download the video. If you're looking at us right now on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and like this video so we know that you like the content that we're putting out. And if you have X, go ahead and give Full Time Roundup a follow at Full Time Roundup. Like our tweets, interact with us, ask us questions. We'd love to interact with you. And you could always find my guy, Harrison Clark, at hclark_2. I got it right. Let's go. I'm not doubting myself today. I'm seeing things clearly for the first time in forever, and I am ready to go on a tear here, Harrison. So let's go ahead and recap the beautiful green weekend we had. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen real quick, and let's get right into it. All right. So we're going to this beautiful. You see those W's?
It's
It's
glorious.
it's a beautiful thing. I'll go ahead and zoom in real quick so we can see a little bit easier. Here we go. That's the magic. All right, Harrison, let's go ahead and cover games that we took together because we're actually kind of hot right
Sure.
now when it comes to that. Sure.
Yeah. It's a
um,
first. It's a first.
It is a first, but I'm liking the trend here. We both had Luton Villa over 3.5.
Mhm.
Our entire analysis could not have been more spot on. I mean, Luton overs continue to print, and we're gonna have to probably follow suit by taking it again next week. What do you think?
Completely agree. It was actually a really interesting game. Villa was completely dominant first half. And I also got the Ollie Watkins cash early, which was nice. He was on fire, especially the first 45. And then the whole game flipped on its head in the second half, and Luton were the dominant team. They got the 2 goals before Villa got the late one, which was unfortunate for Luton because they actually played a really solid second half, and I don't know if they necessarily deserved to lose that game. But it was a fun game, and the over went exactly how we thought, which was pretty nice to see.
A 5 goal thriller. I also gave out Aston Villa as a lean, saying this is a trap, and I'm not. I'm going to learn from my lessons. Well, I actually lied because I ended up taking it just as I actually parlayed it with AC Milan money line, so it was fairly juicy because Milan were plus odds. So I was texting you. I was like, "Well, the over printed, but at what cost?" Because I have Aston Villa money line as well, and you're like, "Well, don't worry." And then it ended up hitting, and I wasn't paying attention. You're like, "Well, there you go."
Thank you,
So
Pulisic.
thank you, Captain Fantastic, and thank you, Luca Dean, for that nice headed goal you had at the end of the stoppage time. Now, going off, I had Manchester City 1.5. You had Manchester City parlayed with Holland. This was a little bit of a sweat, but we got there. And I'm gonna go ahead and share a clip for us. Let me go ahead and get that up. This is a little new for the show, so just bear with us. But we're gonna try to show some clips here. So let us know if you like this portion of it. I'm gonna go ahead and play music so we don't get copyrighted here. Well, so just bear with the audio.
Trouble back rock. Haaland.
That was sweaty. That was sweaty.
I want to thank Amrabat for leaving on a platter for both of us to cash. I mean, Phil Foden, Pep said it after the game. He's been the best player in the Prem this season. He was, again, amazing, which you can debate whether he's been the best player in the Prem. I don't know. But he's been spectacular all year. And that second half from City was really impressive. And then, yeah, Haaland scoring late, that gave you the -1.5. It gave me the anytime goal scorer with the City money line. That was, yeah, it was awesome.
Huge. And
Huge.
just gonna throw out a stat here. Phil Foden, 29 goals and assists this season. Jude Bellingham, 27 goals and assists this season. Man has gotten no credit for being a fucking baller. So gotta give our flowers here. I also before I share the sorry, what were you saying?
You're good. I heard some analysis after the game, and it's pretty true, honestly. Like when you think of City, you think of Haaland and you think of De Bruyne, but I think you need to start throwing Phil Foden into that kind of conversation where, like, first players on the team sheet you think of Haaland and De Bruyne. Well, Phil Foden's been unbelievable this season, and for a while, like, he was in and out of the lineup with Guardiola. You didn't know if he was going to be able to take the next step, but I mean, with how he's played this year, he's also right there at the top of players that Pep is picking first.
I'd have to agree with that. Now, I'm going to let you know that the first player on the team sheet for me at Manchester City is none of those players you just mentioned. It's Rodri. He's numero
That
uno
works
for
too.
me.
Yeah, he's
Numero
unbelievable.
uno. Over KDB and Holland and Foden. I don't care. I simply believe it. But I'm going to have to agree. I mean, the kid's 23. Gareth Southgate's going to have to work him into the XI as well for England. Not to get too off track, but I'm just thinking of him and Kane and Jude and that going forward. Oh my God, that's going to be scary.
With
I mean, he might
Rice.
play out with Rice and he might play out wide and have Saka out wide and him, and you got Rashford off the bench. I mean, oh my God, too bad it's not going to come home. Too bad it's not going to come
Let's just
home.
hope Southgate doesn't just go brain dead and just decide to play a Liverpool legend like Jordan Henderson again, because he loves Jordan Henderson.
He does, and I mean, Southgate and Berhalter, I feel like two of the same cloth, except Southgate actually has legitimate success and Berhalter does not. But yeah, no, their man management and call up questions are always interesting. So, we'll probably somehow see Calvin Phillips on the plane. Won't make much sense, but don't want to get too off topic. I had another over 3 in the Chelsea Brentford game. And my word, what a way to cash this over and to make Harrison cry. I'm going to go ahead and play this video real quick. So let me set that up real quick.
Can't wait to watch this.
Yeah, I can't wait either. It was so nice. What a hit, son. What a hit. I mean, I don't know who it was who kind of laid it up, but I mean, when I was watching it live and I saw he laid it up, I was like, do it, bike it. And then he just absolutely laced that ball into the back of the net. And I enjoyed every second of that.
I mean, yeah, it's a great goal. Got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, I'm happy Chelsea got a draw out of that game because Brentford came up flying start of the second half. I mean, just a completely different team from the first half, and they had Chelsea on their heels the whole second half, really, until Disasi got a late tire. But who else? Axel Disasi. But yeah, that goal was outrageous. Congrats on your over. But yeah, it's a nice little. That was a nice little one to get early on Saturday.
Oh, dude, I mean the vibes were great when that one. I mean, it felt like I could do no wrong at that point. So love that. But you had a money line, and I ended up tailing secretly here. And I was actually at a bar watching UNC, watching this. Me and a couple friends that Xavi Pratt, Justin Armel, were above my shoulders, like the devil and the angel, watching this Madrid game, and we couldn't believe what took place. Let's not preface it. I want to hear your instant reaction of what you think. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for the last time. Let's watch this video, and then let's unpack. We also covered this on the podcast, so I thought Matt actually shared a pretty good opinion on this. So let's go ahead and watch.
La dernière, la tête, c'est pas possible. De Brahim, la dernière. Brahim à la lutte. Brahim pour reprendre ce ballon. Le centre de Brahim, la dernière, la tête, c'est pas possible. C'est Bellingham, il le refuse.
I mean, you can clearly hear the whistle in that, but I mean, unbelievable stuff. I don't know how you called the game there, but it had to be Jude Bellingham as well who gets sent off. But that's a tough beat for us. That's a tough beat.
Yeah, first of all, I didn't even expect Jude to play, so it was nice to see him even in the starting 11. Secondly, they go down 2-0, and we're texting each other. This thing is dead already. They mount the comeback. Vinicius scores 2. He's egging on the crowd, which was hilarious. And then that, and I really like. Part of me understands it because for a little bit, it looks like Brahim Diaz is going away from the goal momentarily, but then he turns the corner and he plays the ball, and the whistle's going right as he plays it, and that's the part that's really hard for me to understand because I think the referee does see him turn the corner and be about to cross it when he does blow the whistle. So like that was brutal. I mean, what an ending. It was crazy after the whistle too, the mayhem that was on the field. But that was a hard one to swallow just because all of that took place. We get the goal that we think is gonna, give us another cash and mount an unbelievable comeback, and to see it end like that was disheartening.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. It's not like Real Madrid doesn't get referee decisions, so I feel like this will always balance out, and they got the draw. But on a betting basis, tough beat, bad beat, 1-800-BAD beat.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the worst. That's actually one of the in that context, that was one of the worst ones I've seen.
We're gonna put that. We're gonna start a tally now. Worst beats we've ever had, and that's numero uno. So we're gonna establish that list today. Now we'll keep going back and forth here. I had Leipzig Bochum over 3. I think that finished 5-1, 4-1, something like that. Flew over. Bochum scored first, which ideally was the best case scenario for me. I love when a heavy favorite concedes early because it makes them wake up and then they end up absolutely battering the opponent. I love games when that happens, especially when I have the over in it. So that was easy. I was actually hovering, doing a live alert, maybe looking at Leipzig, decided to stay away, take my profit, and then they end up absolutely just laying the wood on Bochum. And this was never a doubt. Xavi Simons, there was even goals called out, and they still flew over. So Xavi Simons is immense. Love to see it. But you had Newcastle Wolves over 3, and if Wolves decide to show up, this probably over would have hit.
Yeah, it didn't show up, and I mean, thankfully that lean that you had of Wolves plus half, you didn't actually end up taking it. But because
I did
I lean
actually.
that way.
Full disclosure,
Oh, you did?
I sprinkled a little bit, and it was like
Oh,
one, maybe not. I think I lost 2 lanes the entire time. That was one of them.
yeah. I mean, Wolves just didn't show up, but I mean, thankfully Newcastle did. They even got us a push here, which I said last time that
Greasy.
I'm totally okay with a push here. Um, it was a greasy push, that no question about that. But we'll take those honestly with how Wolves played.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Speaking of sweaty, greasy, whatever adjective you would like to use, this Ren Lorient game was as dead could be in the 60th minute. 0-0 in the 60th minute. I was like, well, shit. Guess I'm gonna go, 4-2 or whatever. And back to life, Lorient just scored 3 in a row with a red card. Kevin Donzo in the 87th minute cashes the over for me at the death. Couldn't believe this one hit. And it's just one. It's like when you're a striker and you're banging in goals, you have the Midas touch. When you're in that goal scoring form, you can do no wrong, and that's what it kind of felt like in this one. Now, speaking of that, Napoli Juventus over 2.25. Ended up taking it. I ended up taking it. I was like just so hot. I was like, you know what? I kind of like this as well. I'm tailing my guy Harry here, and I mean,
Talk
I
about
feel
dead.
that that first that halftime goal right before half with those, was it Kvaratskhelia, was very pivotal in this over cash.
I mean, similar to Ren and Lorient, it didn't really look like it had much of a chance, honestly, late in the second half.
It didn't.
Federico Chiesa, who I said wasn't expected to play, he must have just been a game time decision because he ended up suiting up. He gets us a game tire in like the 81st minute. All of a sudden, I'm not watching the game, but I'm getting alerts on my phone, and I'm like, hold on a second. Let's not go anywhere. And lo and behold, the penalty is awarded. The guy I thought, well, of course, would bury it, Victor Osimhen, doesn't. But
Of
guess
course,
who's there? Raspadori on the rebound.
Giacomo.
Gets us to three. I mean, listen, we had over 2.25. So 2, at least I would have gotten half my money back. But even getting to 3 in that game was pretty unbelievable also. And again, we take those. I guess the gambling gods were on our side this week.
They were. I mean, the fact that Osimhen missed the penalty, we get that penalty late with the VAR review. I mean, to be fair, Juventus missed maybe 4 really, really good opportunities. So they themselves could have got us there. But it needed to be the road less traveled, like I said last time. And boy, did we enjoy it. To kind of go over to my last play here. PSV money line. That was I didn't get to watch it because I was going somewhere on Sunday morning, but I look in the first 10 minutes they're already 1-0 up, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't even have to think about this. An hour goes by and it's 2-2, and I'm like, what happened here? It seemed like they were actually outplayed by Feyenoord, so guess I just didn't have the right lean. Santiago Jimenez did play, so FootMob was incorrect with the injury report, which kind of hurts. If I knew that, maybe I wouldn't have played it. But I mean, 5-1. What can you do? Not that big a deal.
That's just a good weekend. That's what I call it, a good weekend.
Yeah.
Feyenoord are so scrappy. Like, it's just, especially with Jimenez in there, if he is playing, then they're always going to be a threat. Kind of unlucky there for you, honestly.
It's all right. And you had Bilbao pick them a push. I thought you
Yeah.
guys were going to go the distance once Frankie de Jong and Pedri got hurt, but it didn't seem like it was y'all's day.
I kind of had that hope. Never want them to be injured, but it's once those players are gone, you hope that Bilbao maybe can take advantage of those players not being there. Obviously, not having Nico Williams is tough because he is so dangerous going forward. But 0-0, you don't lose anything from it. So I'll take another push there. In the end, a pretty solid weekend. Also, I think 4 wins and 1 loss and 2 draws. So can't complain.
Let's go. Let's keep it rolling, and we're going to go ahead and pull up the good old Bovada and
Oh, yeah.
and hunt some lines. for this slate, midweek slate. Now we have the Champions League first, starting with Bayern Munich versus Lazio. You're brave enough to take something in this game. I am just gonna go ahead and stay in neutral.
I am, and I think that honestly, this is a scary one. But I'm gonna take Lazio. We got them at +1.5, +2, and this feels like it's gonna be similar to the first game because Lazio weren't very attacking the first game, and then of course they get fortunate to get a penalty. They're gonna be sitting back again. Sorry, ball, of course. But I think that Bayern very well could score and maybe get this to extra time just because of course they have talent and they have Kane and he can score. But I just don't trust Bayern enough to be able to break them down. Lazio's been good defensively all year in Serie A. It's just a matter of if they can score the goals. But in this game, I just don't know about Bayern offensively to be able to at least beat that spread of +1.5 and 2. So I'm going to take it. It's a scary play, but I'm going to take Lazio just because I don't trust Bayern.
Sometimes I provide my feedback, and it's sometimes good, sometimes it's not so good for the side you're on. But I will say, Lazio kept it close with Milan, completely lost their head, and got 3 dudes sent off. So the good news there is they're not going to be resting those guys because those guys are banned for 2 matches plus. So they're going to be juiced up for this one. And they definitely are going to smell blood in the water with how Bayern have been playing as of late. I mean, Bayern lost to Lazio, and then they went ahead and tied Freiburg on Friday. So no Upamecano either. The defense is in shambles. I expect Sharon Immobile to start this one. So, +1.5. If it got to 2, then I might have to come and dabble here. I'm going to go ahead and wait that one out. But I like your pick here to go to PSG Real Sociedad. Did not realize it's now at Pick'em.
Yeah.
I kind of like PSG Pick'em here. Real Sociedad have had a shitty 2 weeks, to say the least. They've been
abysmal.
Abysmal, but it's also PSG in the Champions League. What they do is choke.
Yeah.
I lean PSG Pick'em here, depending on the lineup. But this whole Mbappe shit that's got me going on really threw me off my game, so I'm not going to take it. But
he's been getting subbed at weird times, and
Luis Enrique's playing fucking mind games, saying he might not even play this match. I'm not. This is one to stay away. But until the lineups start, then you might want to dabble there. But we can move on if you don't have anything in here.
It's just weird that he's saying they got to learn how to play with Mbappe. He's on the team right now. I don't understand. Why do you? I understand he's gonna leave. I know, but at the same time, the best player on your team, you're just not gonna play him in the Champions League. Then I don't understand. I don't understand the logic.
I get Ligue 1 because Ligue 1 no one gives a shit about, and they already have a lead. But I see him talking out of his ass with the Champions League. I think he's bluffing with that. So I think I understand applying it to Ligue 1, but not the Champions League. This is the best competition in the world. So I think they're going to take it seriously, or Luis Enrique is going to find himself out of a job. Manchester City versus Copenhagen. I don't like anything because I think City's going to rest a lot of guys here. So if I had to lean anything, it'd be the over 3.5. But I don't really like anything in this match, so I'm just going to stay away.
I agree. It's going to be complete roster turnover, I think, for City. There's so many games going, so many big games. They played United this week.
The weekend.
Then the weekend game against Liverpool. Then you got FA Cup coming up. You got a big one with Arsenal soon. I just think that you won't expect to see Haaland, De Bruyne. I don't think any of those guys are going to be starting in this game.
Oscar Bob.
So, yeah, it's going to be probably Oscar Bob. So maybe Kovacic, Chelsea great. So I think it could either go either way with the over or an under, honestly. I don't really know what to expect in this game. But I am going to play Julian Alvarez to score because I expect him to be the main man up front. And if City do score, It'll probably come from. I mean, I like his chances, and his value is always good on the books to score. And he is lethal in front of net. So if City do pull a couple goals out, I expect Alvarez to get one.
I'd have to agree with that. I think they're going to need Julian Alvarez to score because I really like this Copenhagen team. Like, really like them. I thought they gave City kind of a fit at their home base,
They
especially
did.
with the B City team. I mean, I could see them. I think this, depending on how the lineup is, I might talk myself into +2 Copenhagen. Stu Feiner, a famous gambler who a lot of people know, the best bets are the ones that feel the most uncomfortable. So that would be that for me. That's like you betting on Lazio +1.5.
Yeah.
So I might have to join you in this fight, not to be a square. But moving on to Real Madrid, Leipzig, Jude Bellingham's back, which changes things a lot. We learned something. Now, would they rest him after playing the full 90 at the weekend? I don't know. But there's nothing in this game that stands out for me, but I know you have something.
Yeah, I'm taking Leipzig +1. I mean, the first
Thoughts and
game
prayers.
they gave. Yeah, I know, thoughts and prayers, but hey, we got to be uncomfortable sometimes. But yeah, the first game Leipzig played, I thought, really well, and it really was just a moment of magic from Vinicius that allowed Madrid to have a 1-0 lead going back to the Bernabeu. But I mean, Leipzig, we've seen it in the Bundesliga. They are dangerous, and Dominic Sesko has kind of come into his own. Xavi Simons, like you mentioned, has been playing well. Openda, of course, is still there. He scores loads of goals. I think that they're going to give Madrid a problem. Now, of course, it could take another moment from Vinicius or Bellingham or whoever to wipe that away. But I think that Leipzig at +1, they're going to be fighting for it all game. And I could definitely see them getting – I thought maybe the over. That's a high number. But I think that Leipzig are going to give Madrid a real good game.
I like that analysis. Honestly, best luck to you. I really don't have a feeling either way. So I just wish you best. Now down to go over the Europa League. You're welcome. To the Europa League. Sporting versus Atalanta. I got to play in here. I'm gonna go over 2.5. Just gonna juice at -125. This game's going to fly over, I think. Both really good attacking teams. Atalanta has been leaky. Sporting has been very leaky as of late. So I think not only is this fixture going to be really fun to watch, but I think there should be a lot of goals.
I might add a play. Gyökeres, anytime goal scorer. This guy is.
I mean, the
freak.
dude's the best player in the Portuguese league by a country.
I gotta
miles.
see what I gotta see what the odds are on that.
They're probably good. The bookmakers have not figured out how to handicap soccer, and if your name's not Haaland, Mbappe, Messi, or Ronaldo, they usually give you pretty favorable odds. So I definitely look into that.
I think that. I mean, if Sporting are gonna come out with a result this game, he's gonna have a part in that. So I think I'm gonna add Victor Gyökeres, anytime goal scorer, on Thursday.
That's my twin. Twin them. Roma, Brighton should be a good game. You don't have a play in here, right?
No, not maybe the over, but I just
how Brighton
like
are
Brighton.
playing.
I don't
right
like
now.
Brighton right now.
I don't like Brighton either. I'm gonna have to agree with you. And we've gotten burned on Roma games twice in a row now, so I'm not interested. Now I know you do have Liverpool money line. I'm thinking I might have to join you here. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
Listen,
Talk me into it.
We've talked about traps on this show so
the
many
biggest
times,
trap of all time.
And we think that we're learning, and we say we're learning, and we get these low numbers, and we're like, you know what? It's just one of those where you close your eyes and you hit the damn button. But I just think this number is way too low. Like, Sparta Prague are not as good as Premier League teams, and you're getting Liverpool at this number. And I know the kids are probably going to be playing, and I mean,
how many
big
is the
game
question? I just don't know.
I know. That's the problem. But again, it's just something about Liverpool right now that no matter what the number is, I think I got to blindly tail. So at minus 110, you're
I
basically
live
getting them at like
Liverpool this weekend,
you're
and
getting them against a bad, like not bad, but you're getting them against a team that's not up to Premier League standards, and with Jurgen Klopp coaching against them, I just think that at minus 110, it's something that I have to dabble in.
just the only thing is that we play City, so like how far does Klopp go with the rotation? Because
Yeah,
he knows that no matter what happens in this tie, we'll absolutely batter them at home. So like
right.
how bad of a lineup can you field where it's not the tie is not out of question? I mean, Szoboszlai's back, Endo's back, Nunez is back. Like, are you going to risk them here? Do they need minutes? They might. Some of them might need minutes. I don't. Mo Salah, like I don't. I just don't know. Um, it is a trap. I would probably lean the over here at 3. Just because our B squad's a little leaky, and we'll probably score once we get the subs on. So I might make that an official play. I'm gonna have to think on that, but I see where you're coming from. To move on to the next game, Milan, Slavia Prague. I have the over here at over 2.5. So sign me up. Sign the check on the dotted line. I'm in it. Let's go. Slavia Prague just print overs.
They do.
This is gonna be a weird one. It's at San Siro. They've been very good in Europe. The over's been hitting for them fairly frequently. So I'm just gonna trust my gut here and go ahead and take it. I believe the numbers liked it as well. So that's what I'm
That's
playing
huge.
now. Huge for the big numbies for the kid. The last Europa League game I have or you have is or we both have, I guess, is you have Marseille money line. I have the over. Both teams scored 5 goals this weekend, so that's enough said about the over. But explain why you're back in Marseille, because I actually happen to agree with you.
New coach, and he's lit a fire under them. I mean, they just score all of a sudden a ton, and I mean, they've always had talent. It's just like, was it Gattuso who was in there before? I mean, it's
Yeah,
just like
anti-football. Jesus.
I just they needed I think the players maybe needed a change, and maybe his voice was just not working for them anymore. So getting a new one in there, it seems to have reinvigorated the team. And at home against Villarreal, with how Marseille played this weekend, I just think that this is a good spot to back them.
I'd concur. Now we also have this Ajax Aston Villa game that we both have. We both have the over. We're gonna run this back turbo. I have over 3, so I'm gonna stick with over 3 here. Yeah, I'm not worried really about this one. PS or Ajax are just awful defensively. Um, yeah, I mean Villa have been in pretty good goal scoring form. I mean, they rested Diaby at the weekend. That makes me feel warm and fuzzy. They also rested Zaniolo. So I think the boys are going to be buzzing. They're going to be ready. I think they also rested Tillman. So I think he did. Oh, well, I think Aston Villa wins this match outright. But if you want to be safer, I'd just go ahead and follow us and take the over 3 here.
Said it last week. Villa like to score goals in bunches, and I think that Ajax are another potential victim to that, honestly. And if Watkins is playing again, I think you can almost chalk him up for a goal. I probably won't take him, but I think the over will get there. Again, this is like one of those where I feel pretty good about that one.
Yeah. So just to recap what we have here, I have Atalanta Sporting over 2.5, Milan, Slavia Prague at over 2.5, Villarreal Marseille over 2.5, and Ajax Villa over 3. Harrison, what do you have?
Lazio plus 1.5/2. Leipzig +1, Liverpool money line, Marseille money line, Ajax Villa over 3, and then 2 anytime goal scorers. Julian Alvarez against Copenhagen, and I'm adding Victor Gyökeres against Atalanta.
Let's go. I didn't post the plays on the Twitter because I want you guys to come watch the video, but I will post one play of ours each, and it's going to be the Villa Ajax game that we both had. So if we get one post on the full-time run-up Twitter. But if you're still sticking with us 35 minutes later, thank you. We went a little extra long today, but we wanted to include some of that content. After a winning week, you just want to revel in the coin. So we're going to continue to do that. Harrison, thank you again for joining us, and we will see you on Thursday.